So today's video is going to be on Big Bang. Let's just get right into it. What do fans need to know? There is a deeper spiritual message here, but for those of you who aren't into all the spiritual mumbo jumbo, the plain and simple is there was a purging that happened in this group, and it was as a result of years of ignoring red flag situations that didn't need to happen, situations people were aware of and just didn't speak on, and people just finding their business a little bit too hard, a little bit too much. People just went down the wrong path. They were going down the wrong path for a while, and rather than anybody, just saying, like, being honest, sitting them down, telling them, hey, this is kind of weird, they just kind of let it go. Let the situation play out how it needed to. So self-focused that they didn't even think about those around them. And they just kind of were like, yeah, that's their business. That's not my business. So that's what happened here. They have come to a sort of pivotal moment where they need to decide if they still want to be associated with this group, or like that thought is on the table. Like, do I still want to be associated with this group, or do I just want to dip? Like, is it dead and gone, or is there coming back from this? Everything that needed to be purged out was purged out, but for whatever reason, people are just not feeling it anymore. Some people are just not feeling it anymore. They're either going to come to the decision where they're like, I don't want to be associated with this anymore, period, or they're going to still want to be associated with this and then just go their separate ways, which is okay, which is fine. I feel like, Big Bang activities are few and wide in between, so I don't think anybody's going to really feel anything about that. But for nostalgia's sake, that's the only thing that's kind of keeping this together. How people perceive the good old days about them versus what is actuality. People have definitely learned from this. Everything that happened in this group, the former members and the current members, everybody has learned from this, and they've all taken their own little lessons. And that's what's kind of leading them to this pivotal moment, is like, do I still want to be associated with this, or do I not? Like, do I want to bury this under the mud? Like, put this in my closet, my closet of dark secrets. Moving forward, we're still going to see people collabing in certain ways every few years or whatever. But as far as like a reunion goes with, some past members, I don't think that's on the table currently. I think there's just two different, people just don't trust people anymore. That's what I'm seeing here. Also, people see the situation for what it is as well, and that's what's kind of coming to this situation. The biggest factor in this situation is people see the situation for what it is, and honestly, I don't know if they feel it anymore. I don't think they're feeling it anymore, which is okay. I mean, some people feel like it's run its course. It's run its course now, which is okay. You can really tell who trusts, like, if they trust someone, for like, depending on if they collab with that person. Like, if you still see them collabing, they were tight. They were tight. They might not still be as tight as they once were, but they were tight back then, okay? They're like, yeah, this is a good person. I can trust this person. It's not gonna come back to bite me in the butt. Trusting this person. I think they're trying to figure out the most tactful way of disassociating with this. That's what it feels like. Yeah. The most tactful way of letting this run its course and just fade into obscurity. Back of the deck, we have this 8, this 17, and this 24. This is a card of like ultimate light. You know what I mean? It's like I can either follow my own inner light, and I can be true to myself and be true to my integrity and cut ties with the situation, or I can let it drag on and still keep being associated with things that aren't necessarily the most positive. Let me just say, I also feel like there was something about the history of this group, that it wasn't necessarily the most positive experience for people. I don't know what happened behind the scenes or what they were going through behind the scenes, but it was not the most positive situation. It's like people had to climb out of darkness, and the place where they are now, they've never felt more free than where they are now. Like, something about this really entrapped them in darkness that they didn't really like. And they have come to realize, yeah, that's the vibe, that wasn't it. And I don't think I would ever, if I could go back and do it differently, I think I would in certain ways and aspects, because something about it is just not, it's just not sitting right in people's soul. I don't know what that's about. That was like the back of the deck, but it was like all combined together. That's okay. So on this side is going to be like where they currently stand, and then on this side is more like how do they feel about that.
We have the Four of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords. We have the Page of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups in reverse.
Do they miss each other? No. It's funny because when I was shuffling this out, a phrase kept repeating it, going off in my head, repeating itself in my head. It's like, it's best if we just don't work together. It's best if we just don't be around each other. So yeah, I don't think they miss each other at all. Like I said, something about this just didn't sit right in people's soul. I don't know what happened behind the scenes with the company, with the band members themselves, but this was not it. That was not it. I don't know what was up with that. Do they miss each other? No. Did they have good times together? Yes. But I think if you ask them about good times, you would hear the same names popping up over and over between certain people. And that would be it. Like, and they're going to be small. There's not going to be like a huge, big moment. Like, and it really took away from like big accomplishments too, because of the way the vibe was. Like, it's like, it wasn't hitting as hard as it could have hit for them because of how everything was run, how everything was playing out in the time too. There's a lot of past energy here I'm getting, and it wasn't necessarily the most positive past. I don't know why I keep getting that, but it just wasn't the most positive past. So bottom line, best if we don't work together, best if we aren't around each other. So Ten of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Four of Cups. I would definitely say, yeah, it's hard to find a positive feeling here. I think people have to really dig hard and deep in order to find a positive experience when it comes to this. We have a lot of positive cards, but they're all in reverse. And then I have this Ace of Pentacles. So it was a good opportunity for them, for sure, to get their names out there, to get to a higher level of fame than what they once were. I feel like now it's kind of Midas touch energy. They're legends in their field, in their own way, in their own field. And that's like the biggest thing for them, because this was just a stepping block in the grander scheme of things for them. And that's what this Ace of Pentacles is about. Four of Cups is like, there's hard feelings, but there's not hard feelings. And I'll get into that in this part, but it's like, there's hard feelings, but there's not hard feelings. I think now there's no rose-colored glasses for them to look back on, for those that were still holding on to that thread of hope, to that thread of positivity about this. Like, there's no rose-colored glasses now. It's like, there's nothing there that they wish to bring back or wish to revive, if that makes sense. There's nothing there anymore. Dang, this is so sad and somber. But that's a result of like years of like thing after thing after thing happening, and it's like not, it's not, nobody's feeling that. Is there worry here? Five of Pentacles is usually a card about worrying financially, worrying about those kinds of things. So there might be something regarding like people's names and the rights to certain things in the future, but I'm thinking like right now, this isn't a big thing. This is just like a thought in the back of people's head, is this. It's like the only thing that people are really worried about when it comes to this situation is, it's gonna sound a little weird, but it's like, I don't want to discount just how much this has helped me in my career, in my life, but I also don't want to pretend like this was the best thing that ever happened to me ever. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. I don't think any of them would call each other like their best friend, call any of them their best friends. I think they had more of a working relationship than a lot of other groups. Like, this was all business relationship. Like, this wasn't, none of this feels personal. Like, it was very much business. And that's fine for them. I will say, I don't know if this is former or current members of this group, but it's like they might feel a little bit of FOMO, like they missed out on certain things, or that they were being isolated in certain ways, or like they weren't being included in things, and it led to this sort of like rift kind of in a certain way. Like there's a lot of thoughts surrounding this situation about how people feel about this, so there is still a lot of hurt here, and I do feel like there's some inner work that needs to be done. Even if it wasn't personal, people still need to like work on how they internalize the unfolding of events here. It's like there's nothing new to be had here. Like it's not, there's, I just heard, there's no use beating a dead horse. Like what, how does that saying go? Like there's no use in beating a dead horse or something. Like I want to say beating a dead horse in the mouth, but that's not right. Like there's no use in beating a dead horse. It kind of feels like for certain people, like I'm so far past this, I don't feel connected to this like I used to. I might not even miss the connection that I had to this that I once did. So yeah, I think people are just focused on their own lane. They stay in their own lane. They focus on their own vibe, their own stuff that they have going on, whether it's family, building their own family, you know, having their own activities, furthering their own careers, making their own investments, like that kind of thing. Like everybody's just focused on that. They don't really care about this. Like there's no use in beating a dead horse. Like it's run its course a little bit for people. They don't feel as impassioned about it as they once did. Let's move into this part. Like how does that make them feel? Like with all these like heavier kind of energies, how does that make them feel?
We have the Knight of Cups, we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse, we have the Queen of Cups, and then we have Two of Crystals and the Eight of Shells.
Do they feel negatively about that? No. This was like the main card where that saying started going off in my head. It's best if we don't work together. Like, best if we don't even be seen together. Like, best if we don't be associated with each other, period. Dang, like, who's feeling like that? There's still a passion for what they do. It's just not in the scope of this group. It's no longer inside that. It's about their own fields, what they're doing. Like they want to keep moving forward, keep doing what they need to do, keep being prosperous, but in their own fields, in whatever they're doing. Unrelated, totally unrelated to whatever this is. Totally unrelated to whatever this one was. I think they've made peace with the situation in that this is how they feel. And they're totally fine with that. I'm not saying that a reunion is impossible in the future. It just won't be the near future. It's going to be way longer down the ways, and might be certain people being left out, or certain people like, yeah, you're definitely not allowed. Like you're definitely not invited, okay? It's gonna be way longer down the line, okay? People need their apologies. People need their time away from each other to heal, to do whatever they need to do. I think there's certain sympathies, certain compassion being shared for some people, but not others. I feel like others crossed a line, a moral line for certain people, and that's the biggest thing. I don't want it to seem like that makes them righteous. It's just like, it's not out of a righteousness. It's literally like, yeah, no, you're weird. Yeah, no, you're weird, and it's best if I don't be seen with you, because that would mess up what I have going on, okay? So there's going to be, if there is a reunion, it's going to be very, very far down the line in the future. It's not going to be, because they just don't need to right now. If I'm being quite honest, they just don't need to. They have so much other stuff going on for them in their own fields that it's just like, do I need this? No, not necessarily. So they're happy with where they are, staying far clear away from this. Only thing that makes me feel good about this is this Two of Pentacles and this Eight of Cups right here. Like quest, renewal, balance, adaptability. Like, yeah, when the time comes, yes, when the time comes for a reunion to be in order, yes, not everybody's going to be there. Not everybody's going to be there.
Look at the starfish, and then I'm thinking, like, you know how starfish can, like, regenerate their limbs? Or is that a myth? Has that been proven to be a myth? I don't know. You know how, like, starfish are known to be able to regenerate their own limbs if it's, like, cut off, or they're able to, like, still be alive if certain parts of their body is cut off?
Kind of thing. It's like they would have to go on a whole journey and find the will and the desire to like come back together. Yes, but no. But it makes sense, but I feel like the way I'm wording it isn't necessarily the best. The bottom of the deck over here, we have the sun, we have the awakening, and we have the star. So yeah, people are definitely gonna have to repair their relationships when it comes to people around them. People are gonna have to give apologies in order to repair these relationships and kind of better their standing with other people. I don't know what like I'm getting this specific situation where somebody might have did something that broke another person's trust, and yeah, there could be coming back from this, but it's going to take a lot of mending, you know, a lot of healing, a lot of mending in this situation. But like I said, people have to step up, own up to what they're doing, take accountability for what they did. Then they could move on from there. I don't know how prideful people are, but like that might be a factor when it comes to people standing in their way. Yeah, this person has to like grow up. This person has to grow up. Like, they can't think they're a victim forever. They have to really come to that realization on their own as well. That's crazy. Anyways, so awakening, we have renewal and enlightenment. Yeah, there's like this sense here where sometimes, I don't know if this is just how people feel or if this is like the truth of the matter, but it's like, you know, when you get to the point where you're so big that you're like, I don't need to deal with this. I don't need to deal with you. You're not worth my time. That kind of vibe. People might feel like somebody is like that, or they might think somebody's stuck up like that, but they might not be in reality. Or there might be certain actions and certain things they say and how they say things or do things or act that make people perceive them this way. And they need to come to a realization about that as well. Like, homie, you're still human. Your poop stinks like the rest of ours. Your poop does not smell like roses. So, yeah. Joy and vitality, the sun card. Yeah, there's some cute things going on in the horizon for them. Yeah, as members, as individuals, I feel like there's a lot of good things happening for them in the long run. A lot of success still to be had. A lot of things still going on for them. There's nothing's slowing down necessarily. I think they're gonna find their happily ever after as an individual. Okay, as an individual. Over here, bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Wands, the 5 of Wands, and the Temperance card. Yeah, so that's that Temperance card is like, it takes time to mend, to heal, to get things to be the exact way that they need to be for a reconciliation. And then this 5 of Wands right here, this is about like, 5 of Wands is usually a card of challenge or like external conflict. So I think we're still going to get a lot of people speaking on situations, speaking on things that happen, scandals, those kinds of things. There's a lot of that stuff still going to be going on. I don't think they're still going to be in the limelight. They're still going to be in the press, but it might not always be for the most positive things. And people are going to have their opinions about this and feel some type of way about one thing or another. And certain things are going to be blown out of proportion, but that's just, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles a little bit when you're a public figure like that. So, you know, it is what it is. And then the 10 of Wands is like, sometimes being associated with this group, being associated with it, makes them feel obligated in a way to act a certain way or be a certain way, or like it feels more like a burden than it does feel like an accomplishment. Like when people bring it up and they're like, oh, you're from Big Bang, or you're so and so. it feels more like a burden than it does feel like, oh yeah, like sometimes they'll respond like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. Or like rather than respond like, yeah, I'm so and so, yeah, I'm from Big Bang. Like it feels more like a burden sometimes than it feels like something to be proud of. Sense of pride. Okay. So we have come to the end of this reading on Big Bang. This one was gonna be for the near and true and dear fans, because I feel like not everybody's gonna be interested in this one, especially if you don't know who they are or you're a relatively new K-pop listener. Like this was more my time, like when I first started listening to K-pop. Then like this was closer to that than, you know, some of the other people I do, like in Hyphen or TXT. So yeah, sorry for not having a video out. My birthday was last week, and you know, a week before that I got my license. I might double post actually, so I can get the last of these videos out. I think I'm contemplating going on a little break. I think I'm a little overwhelmed with life and then also my hobbies. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good night, morning, evening, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.